Okay, can you briefly just introduce yourself?
Dr. Sarah Bireete. I am the chairperson of the Global Network for Domestic Election Monitors and Eastern Horn of Africa Election Observers Network, EHON.
Okay, we understand that South Sudan is commemorating International Democracy Day today. Can you briefly tell us what this day means for South Sudanese and East Africa?
International Democracy Day is an international day where the world commemorates the importance of democracy in the development of society. The day for South Sudan is important, especially when it comes after the announcement of the postponement of elections. The people of South Sudan have been waiting for an opportunity to determine their leaders through elections since 2015. And this is the fourth time that these elections are being postponed. So you have a country that is in a permanent election mode, with the people anxiously waiting for this opportunity to exercise their sovereign right to choose their leaders. It's not good for the citizens of South Sudan, but also for any sovereign country. The leadership must derive legitimacy from the people. When you have leaders that keep in power without a choice of the people, then its legitimacy or source of power is questionable. Because where do they derive power from? In democracy, power is derived from the people. And for every democracy, like a definition goes, democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The citizens must choose who should govern them. And once you're chosen to govern, then the citizens have another duty to hold you accountable, to make sure that you govern according to their wishes and aspirations as a society. So when we have this continuous postponement of elections, then the citizens of South Sudan are not allowed to exercise their rights like the citizens of the other countries of the world. We are also aware that South Sudan is the youngest country in the world, and we know that there is this transition period, but this transition period will not be complete until elections are held. And these elections should happen as scheduled. This is what democracy is about.
Looking at the context of South Sudan, as you said earlier, the country is trying to transition. It is trying to go into the process of democracy. And just recently, it was announced that elections were postponed. How would you take a country like South Sudan in terms of the practice of democracy?
Democracy is a process.
Maybe there are some challenges that the country is going through. So.
Democracy is a process. We are aware that each country has its own particular context. The agreement that had put elections at 2015 had consensus of everyone. When those elections could not take place, they were postponed to 2018. In 2018, they are postponed again. The beauty with the 2018 postponement is that there was an action plan of things that should be done to fulfill the agreement then. These things were never done, like the constitution, like arrangement for registration of parties, the mobilization of the army, and other things. Elections were then postponed to 2024. In the wake of preparing for 2024 elections, the citizens are told there will be no election. But also there is no action plan. Because when you postpone elections, can you give accountability to the people? What have you done since 2018? And what is remaining? And what is the challenge that is leading you to postpone elections? That's what an accountable leadership should do. But today, since elections are already postponed, my call to the citizens is to make sure this is the last postponement. Because you are not going to postpone the right of the people forever. Otherwise, South Sudanese will not be independent. There is no independence without sovereign rights. So as the leadership continues to postpone elections, are they giving accountability? What have they achieved? What is pending? And who is going to do what is remaining to make sure elections take place? We had consultations with civic actors yesterday. We noted that for elections to take place, there is a need for a strong citizen's voice. What is it that the people want? For example, in this postponement, have the people been consulted? No. Nobody is talking to the people. Democracy is about to the people. It is not about to the leaders. So can somebody give a report to the people to say that we have failed to organize elections for 4 times, but this is what we have achieved so far, and this is what is remaining. And in the 2 years, we commit to finish whatever is remaining so that we don't postpone elections again. This is what should happen.
So what do you expect the people to do? What do you expect the citizens to do? You so far cited that people should not accept anymore. This is the last time they have extended.
Democracy, like any business, serves the 2 forces of supply and demand. Today, the people of South Sudan have failed to exercise their rights to vote because the demand side is low. The citizens are not demanding enough for democracy. Democracy will not be supplied to the people of South Sudan without demand. It's like any commodity in the market. The citizens must demand, and you must communicate to the leadership that this is the last time they are going to postpone elections. You must communicate, you must demand as a people.
Yeah, you also say that the people of South Sudan will one day choose their leaders or elect their leaders, like they voted as well during the referendum for the separation. What did you mean by this?
For the decision of South Sudan to become independent, it was a decision of the people through referendum. That is what sovereignty is about. Nobody should sit on a high table and take a decision for a country without the people. That's what democracy is about. For anybody to postpone these elections, they should have consulted the people, but they did not. And that one you cannot change. But as a people, you have the power to say, this is the last postponement. Give us elections